Today's video, we're going to talk about Optiscore. Google Ads Optiscore, is it a money grab? And does it still have some use, or is it mostly the money grab that a few people out there that are smart are saying it is? If you are a shill for Google, of course you're going to say Optiscore or Google Optimization Score is a godsend. I'm not trying to say it's all bad here either, necessarily. But it's more, I'll give you the best analogy I can, it's more akin to giving a toddler a nuke or a firearm than it is anything else. So, if Google knew automatically what it is that would be the best for you and your account, they wouldn't be asking you to do it. They would just do it for you. Because that would make them the most money, and it would also, both in terms of increasing your ad spend and also increasing the advertiser retention that they have, or client retention that they have. So the idea that they're asking you whether or not you want to do it should indicate to you that you need to be able to evaluate what they're suggesting to you should be done. Also, of course, they want to ask you to do this thing because they kind of want to have your permission to increase your spend, which, by the way, isn't necessarily the case either, because they raise your spend anyway when they want to, by raising what you're paying per click and for how broad your ads go. They can decide that on a whim. So what they want you to do, though, is kind of be bought in on the process of spending more money, if I think more than anything. They think if they say you should click X, Y, and Z, and then you do it, and then the ad spend goes up, even though you're going to essentially say, okay, well, Google said I should do X, Y, and Z, and I did it, and the ad spend went up, I'm getting more clicks to my website, I must be making more money, and the money that I'm spending in addition to what I was spending is worth it. Otherwise, Google wouldn't have suggested it to me. Versus, your spend just going up automatically on its own, and you just think that Google's trying to take you for a ride. So it's a clever psychological play, if you will. The reality behind all this is it's the devil's in the details. The Optiscore, in and itself, doesn't make you any money, and can make you less money if you don't know what the information I'm going to tell you here. If you do know what I'm telling you here, you can technically use it to make money indirectly. So I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this Optiscore, but please do not listen to all the shills out there that are telling you that you want a 100% Optiscore, because that in and itself almost is never the case. I want to say less than 1% of the time I get a 100% Optiscore. Why? Because 100% Optiscore is not the same way, that's not going to make you the most money with ads. Because a lot of what Google's suggesting to you to get the 100% Optiscore is shit that's going to make your ads less profitable. All I care for is making money, not to get an Optiscore of 100%, which should obviously be what you're focused on as well. So, and of course I get hired as an ad manager to make money, not to please Google. I'm like a defense attorney that you hire to defend you, not to help the prosecutor. You have an independent third party to help you. This is what you want if you don't know how to manage your ads directly, working to your advantage, not to just believe what Google wants you to believe, because if that's all you want, then you don't need an ad manager. You just blindly agree with everything Google wants you to do, and then you'll have to just accept that whatever they're saying that they want you to do, if it's not to your advantage, you have to deal with it anyway. You got to pay anyway. And I'm telling you that you do not want to just blindly agree to anything they want you to do, because you're going to be paying for a lot of shit that doesn't make you any money, and probably will make you less profitable overall. Anyway, I'm going to point out why all this is, and then how to deal with this Google Optimization Score, Optiscore stuff, so you end up still making the most money you can from your Google ads. Okay, so Google Optiscore or Google Optimization Score to make it the long version of that. Or Optiscore is the shorthand version of saying Google Optimization Score. It's that meter at the top of Google that says, it's between 0 and 100%, saying, how the idea is how optimized you are. The more optimized you are, the closer to 100% optimized your Optiscore will say. The reality is that's not the case. It's how close you are to what Google wants you to do that is the closer to the 100% mark you're going to be on the Optiscore, not how much money you're going to make. Or in other words, the Optiscore you have the highest chance to get 100% Optiscore when you've done absolutely everything Google wants you to do in the recommendations section specifically of your account. Because you can click on recommendations in Google Ads, and there's a bunch of stuff to get there. If you want to know the simple way to get to 100% Optiscore, you just go ahead and click accept to everything, or just in the settings automatically agree to everything that they want you to do from now on, which you can also do. I'll tell you right off the bat though, that's going to be, you're going to get, absolutely, just reamed doing that, because a bunch of that stuff, whether Google is intending to ream you or not, you're going to get reamed, because all of it isn't going to apply to every single business universally. Every business is a little bit different. Google obviously doesn't have a way to just optimize everything the same, so they're going to suggest something to you that may or may not apply to your business. So you've got to be able to identify if it makes sense or not, and then have the power, the willingness to not have a 100% optimization score because you turned something down that did not make sense for your business. A lot of people think, so the problem here is that most people think the Optiscore is important, and that's a grade as to how well your ad setup is set up to make you the most money, and that's the furthest from the truth that there is. I have the average Optiscore that I'll have in the accounts that I manage, the few dozen accounts I manage, is going to be somewhere around 60%. But we get fantastic profitable results, and enough so at our agency that we actually guarantee results for our clients before they pay us fees up front. No other agency does that out there, I promise you. And I promise you that if I just did everything Google wants me to do, I would not be able to do that for clients. I give two shits whether my Optiscore is 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, or 100%, because it correlates absolutely nothing with, the maximum profit potential you can get out of Google Ads. It just doesn't, okay? If you have a low Optiscore right now, and under the recommendation section in your account, it's saying that you should do 15 things. If you do not know how to distinguish whether each of those 15 things will make sense and could get you more profit, then you have no business clicking any of them. You're better off clicking none of them than all of them to get that score up to 100%. Think of it like a check engine light on your car. The car can run fine, and if you can get used to that check engine light being on, then you're in good shape. Because a lot of times that check engine light, well, it's not the best analogy, because like when the check engine light is on, your engine really isn't running optimally. That's the case. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're in an old car and it's a junker, it's not going to make sense for you to fix that check engine light or whatever's causing it, so you just got to get used to it being there. Get used to the Optiscore not being 100%, knowing that if it was at 100%, you have had to do a few things that were not going to make you more money, going to piss more of ad spend away that is money spent on stuff that's not getting you more customers, to have the liberty of seeing it actually at 100%. So, while there is some good suggestions under the recommendations section there, the crux of the situation is you got to sift through all of the things that they're recommending to you and have a certain level of base knowledge about running Google ads, search ads, or shopping ads, or discovery ads, or display ads to understand whether or not those recommendations to you are good or not. And like I said, if they were always going to make you money, Google wouldn't ask you, they would just do it. They're asking you to use your brain and see the recommendations they're recommending to you make sense or not. And then you're supposed to ultimately decide. It's also, like I said, to make you feel like you have ownership of the increase in spend, or in reality. But you got to be able to review those one by one. And on top of it, know how to execute. Because if it's saying that you should have image extensions as one of the recommendations, you got to know how to do a proper image extension to take advantage of that. It's not impossible for you to do what it says, have image extensions be able to help you, do a shitty job at doing an image extension for your campaigns, and then have your results go backwards because you didn't know what you were doing as it comes to image extensions, because it's your first whack at it, and you're not a marketer by trade. So not only do you have to know which ones make sense for your business, but you got to know how to do each one of them optimally. So whereas it could lose you money doing an image extension, it could make me a lot of money because I know how to do an image extension. In certain instances, an image extension would not make sense at all, and you would want to completely stay away from it, which in most cases, image extensions, you want those. But I'm just saying, so there's multiple considerations there as to whether or not you want to do those recommendations. And generally speaking, you'll never want to do all the recommendations, so your score should never be 100% if you want to make the most money from Google. All right? And if you don't know what you're doing, the chance of going backwards in profitability is high. So like I said, you're best to stay away from it. But more importantly than that, stay away from it and find somebody who is qualified to distinguish whether the recommendations are good or bad recommendations for your business, and how to get the most from the recommendations if they do make sense for the business type that you have and that whatever you're selling. In terms of the recommendations that Google has in the recommendation section, it's almost always boiled down to the same thing. I look at, we manage dozens of Google Ads accounts, and they're recommending the same stuff to like everybody. It's either add more ad extensions, or it's change your bidding strategy, or it's change your targeting. Within that targeting, it's enabling optimized targeting for display campaigns, or turning on broad match for search campaigns. So, in a nutshell, if you were to look at 1,000 Google Ads accounts and all the recommendations within those accounts, this would be 90% of all the recommendations right here. Why do they make these recommendations? Because it makes them more money. Not necessarily makes you more money. It can make you more money, but all Google cares about is does it make them more money. If you stay around, great, but if they can get everybody to do all of these things, they're bottom line going to make more money, because the ad's physically bigger, so more people as a whole on Google are going to click on ads. Your ads are going to show up in more places, not necessarily in the good places, but just more of them. But switching, that is, if you were to take their advice using broad match, which if you watched my other videos, you should know you should never do, or basically never do. Or changing your bidding strategy to target CPA bidding when you don't have proper conversion tracking, and that takes your account to a totally different place that it needs to go. Or turn it to switching over to smart bidding when you're in a legal, let's say you're a lawyer, and it starts getting you, it finds out that it can get cheap leads from people that are just looking for info and not looking to hire somebody, and then it starts pounding whatever gets the crappiest leads, because those are the cheapest leads, and the cheapest leads are never usually the best leads. And if you don't know that can take your account from sort of working okay to completely trashed, to turning on optimized targeting, like I said, it always wants you to do. And the display ads that were kind of working, that you had, the banner ads or whatnot that you're running on Google Display Network, now show up for random ass shit that takes your whatever performance you had and takes it to zero. And when I say takes it to zero, I literally mean that in terms of the ROI at least. Sure, you'll get more clicks. ROI is going to go in the toilet at the same time. I never ever use optimized targeting, and 99% of the time I don't use broad match. And those are the things they want you to do, because it allows the ads to run super broad and you're not going to make money. You run phrase match or exact match, and you don't run optimized targeting, and you can use smart bidding, but if you use smart bidding and you don't have a way to track sales, you need to be very careful that the algorithm that Google has is running your ads in front of more and more people that will get you the qualified leads you want. If you're doing lead tracking, and you aren't optimizing for sales revenue through a cart, so that you don't have the system get you a bunch of shitty leads. You can do that, by the way, with something called offline conversion tracking, where you can track the leads all the way to a sale, or at least to see if the lead was a qualified lead, and then put that information back into your ad account so that the bidding will get you a qualified lead, not just any lead. Because if you're optimized for the system gets you optimized for unqualified leads, then you're paying for more shit, which you don't obviously want. Because a lot of times it'll say switch to smart bidding, right? And it sees all these cheap leads you're getting from people that are typing in like, do I need a divorce lawyer? Or typing in your competitors' divorce law firms. And then you turn on the smart bidding and it starts pounding those things. Well, those aren't legitimate places to get leads. Because if they're trying to call the competitor law office, they're going to not read the ad half the time, click on your ad anyway, call your office, realize it's not the other competitor office, and then you wasted your money, for one simple example there. And the ad extensions by themselves, yes, you want to add as many ad extensions as possible to your ads. But if you start adding, extra site links, let's say, and you don't know how to do ad copywriting, ultimately it's going to start testing having the site links that you put on there, and if ultimately it'll affect your click-through rate and drop your profitability, not raise it. Probably it's not going to do that, but at the very least, if you knew somebody who knows how to write a site link, it can actually, instead of taking your click-through rate on your ad from 3 to like 3.2%, it'll take it from 3 to like a 4.5. And so now you're making 50% more money just because you got your site links, but because you knew how to write a site link. You didn't just wing it and say, ad copywriter, ad schmoppy writer. Oh, I'm not paying nobody to know how to write no ad for me. I can write an ad. That takes 2 seconds for me to do that. Ad copywriters get paid hundreds of dollars an hour for a reason. People who hire them aren't retards. They're doing, So it's just like a lawyer. People always get the lawyer analogy. There's good lawyers and bad lawyers. Is the cheapest lawyer you could find the best lawyer? Or is there a big difference between the guy that charges $75 an hour and $750 an hour? It's all what you get what you pay for. Someone that can help you write an ad, you get what you pay for. And if they could not get results at $750 an hour, nobody would hire them, obviously. So the market dictates the value based upon the value that's there. Hire the best ad copywriter you can, because I'm not trying to brag here, but the average click-through rate on a Google search ad is 3%. We're able to get 10+% click-through rates on our ads because of what we know about ad writing, what I specifically know after running thousands of ads on Google Ads, because there's a certain technique to writing a Google ad to get, and when it shows up next to the other ads, it gets clicked through at 3 times the rate any other ad that's there does and is. You want to pay for that because you only have that cost once, and then the results from your ads is now 3 times better forever afterwards. That makes sense every time. So it may sound expensive to hire an ad copywriter when they tell you, it's $500 an hour for help. But when you factor 50% or 100% more ad clicks over time from the clicks that you want over the next 5 years, you're literally paying 0.1% of the profit you're going to make for that help. It's all needs to be put in a frame of reference. You got to be able to make decisions in your business unemotionally. You got to be able to tangibly calculate what the potential return is and make your decisions on that. Because stuff that really works, guess what? It's not cheap. People make this mistake all the time in business, hiring cheap marketing people because they think, at least if it doesn't work, I didn't lose a lot. Well, you're guaranteed to lose hiring that cheap person, because anybody who knows what they're doing as far as marketing goes, they know they charge a lot of money because they can make money starting their own little business if they wanted to with those skills. They don't need to take a crappy paying job. They just don't. And so it's still worth it to work with clients if you could charge many hundreds of dollars an hour. That's, if you want somebody who really knows what they're doing, they're not cheap at all. So, but anyway, I'm getting off course here. As far as Optiscore goes, fundamentally you don't want it to be 100% because there's going to be certain recommendations they're making that don't make sense for your business. Of those recommendations, you want a pro to help you execute the recommendations. Just because you can click in 2 seconds, take the recommendation and apply it, doesn't mean you want to. And just because it was free for you to do that, doesn't mean you would make twice as much if you just hired a real expert who does nothing but this all day long, i.e. like myself or a firm like that I run, can get you twice as much from that recommendation or recommendations. So, but in general, you have no business clicking yes or no to the recommendations if you don't understand the difference between one and another. Because you're gonna make more money and or lose less money just hiring a damn expert to tell you and distinguish which ones are good for you, which ones are not. And if that expert is worth their spit, the optimization score you get after they sift through those recommendations is not going to be 100%. And I'll tell you, just to sum this up as well, if you have an ad manager that's helping you run your Google ads and your optimization score is 100%, to me that's the biggest red flag. Because that's all that tells me is they don't know what the hell they're doing and they're just going on Google's recommendations. And they're afraid, those type of people that are totally clueless, that might have like a year worth of experience doing Google ads and now they're charging people for it, they're afraid they're going to be found out. And one of the things they want to do to make sure people don't ask them questions is just to click OK to everything that Google says so that the Optiscore says 100%, because they know a lot of clients are going to ask about the Optiscore and they don't want questions. So they just automatically say yes to Google on everything, which means you pay more. They don't care if you make less money. They just want to get their little bit of payday from you for managing their ads. Somebody who you want to manage their ads is somebody who can tell you, no, this doesn't work. No, this is a scam. Yes, this is alright, but this is how you have to do it. Take this part, but leave this part out. You need somebody who can tell you the truth, basically. And someone that tells you the truth is going to be able to tell you things you don't want to hear, because that's not, there's stuff that you got to just, you got to be able to understand what's beneficial and what's not. And not go with somebody who's going to tell you what you want to hear to keep your business, and because they have no skill, that's the way they go about doing things. If I tell a client something they don't like what I have to hear, fine, go somewhere else. I'm not going to work with somebody though where 6 months down the road you ask then, why am I not getting more sales, and I don't have a good answer for you. So, but anyway, that's everything I can tell you about Optiscore. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I'll get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel within a couple days usually. I'm able to respond. And with that, if you have any ad-related question, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I'd be happy to help you. I love giving back to my viewers just as a thank you for watching my channel and helping us grow. If you like my channel, by the way, I have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog where you can also find advice coming from myself about how to make money with ads. Furthermore, I also have a column over at entrepreneur.com. If you like my written work, you can follow me there as well. Beyond that, though, first of all, if you saw value from the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give the video a like on the way out. And if you do want somebody to get you fantastic results on your ads now or in the future, this is exactly what I do with clients. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, we do not charge fees to our client unless we can give you guaranteed results. That is, what we typically do is say, if you're spending $3 grand a month now on ads and you're making $8 grand a month, we'll get you from $8 grand to 16 on the same $3,000 you had before and not take a fee unless you get that up front. And no, there's no catch or anything there, other than you have to be prepared to work with us on a paid basis once that's done initially for you. And of course, we got to know we can get good results on your campaigns, but at least if you work with us, you know we're not going to tell you that something will work when it won't, because we're not going to, it wouldn't help us. So at the very least, you should reach out to us if you are considering working with somebody at some point in time, to give you the pre-analysis that we offer all of our clients starting out. So you can reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com to get that analysis anytime. If you are looking to work with an ad manager but don't want to pay the fees, of course we have to charge a significant amount of money to get the kind of results we do. We can offer you the same services that we offer other clients for thousands of dollars for free, literally for free, if you're willing to let us work on your campaigns for your company and share what we learned on this channel. Because we got people that want to be able to see the stuff I talk about on this channel applied in real life, and I'd love to be able to give that to you guys, but I need to have somebody willing to let us work on their ad accounts to be able to do so. So if you're interested in free services, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to try to entertain that with you, or entertaining working together in that kind of capacity. Beyond that, though, if you're not looking to work with an ad manager per se, which I get it, some people want to manage their own stuff, you should at least look us up and see if we've worked in your market before, because if we have, which we've worked in over 100 markets at this particular stage in the last 10 years, we can give you the ads, the landing pages and everything that work for your market for a one-time fee, of which you can apply directly to your ad accounts and what you're doing, and just hurdle over all the learning that we had to do in your market to get the same results that we are getting now in your market. And so with that, like I said, we charge a one-time fee. You can get all the thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of testing that we figured to use to figure out what works in your market, give it to you on a silver platter. And there's no way that you're going to save money by not buying our templates, because you'll spend way more than what we charge for the templates to figure out what we had to figure out in your market. So as long as you don't compete directly with one of our current clients, you're in a different geographic market than where our client is, you can use those templates. So you can also reach out to me at my firm, guaranteedppc.com, if you're interested in that, and see what results we've gotten in your market, if we worked in it, or another market if you're planning to potentially start up a campaign in another market where you could start with the winning ads that we have for that market, which other people are doing as well. As a last note, if you are looking to partner up with us, we also work with clients in that we invest in companies, and then as a result of that, we take a percentage of your sales growth and we do all of your ads for you. We work with several companies in that capacity as well, of which we can share with you which companies we're working with like that, and other results that we're getting through there. Every company we work in that capacity are all doing well, and we'd love to be able to work with you in a similar way if you want an actual partnership between us and your company, where you get the best ad agency working for yourself for free and only taking a cut of the sales. So a little different than the typical monthly fee, retainer agency model that most other companies usually go with and do, and which we also do at our firm as well on the side. Anyway, if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com, and we can talk that kind of a work arrangement over. So with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.